Listen carefully. Millions are coming, but not for everyone. They will only come to the one who sees beyond the evidence of their senses. If you are looking at your empty wallet, your small bank account, your unpaid bills, and waiting for them to change before you believe, then you have already lost. The secret is this: you must see with the inner eye before you can touch with the outer hand. The world you experience outside is nothing more than the reflection of what you carry within. Everything is shadow, your awareness is substance. If you desire abundance, do not treat it as a dream far away. Treat it as your present reality. How would you think if you already had millions? How would you walk? How would you speak? What thoughts would dominate your mind as you lay down to sleep tonight? Answer these questions, and you have the formula for wealth. Millions are drawn to the one who feels wealthy now, not to the one who works the hardest or the one who waits patiently, but to the one who dares to assume that what they desire is already theirs. Your desire is not a joke, it is not fantasy, it is a signal, a calling from the reality where you already have what you seek. When you feel the truth of that desire in your imagination, you enter that world, and what you enter inwardly must express outwardly. So stop chasing money as though it were outside of you. The wealth you seek is a state of consciousness. Enter that state, live in it, breathe in it, and the outer world will rearrange itself to reflect your assumption. And when you do such a, millions are coming, but only for those who see with the eyes of faith, not with the eyes of fear. See it now, and soon you will hold it. Every fortune, every empire, every breakthrough in history began in a place unseen. It began in the quiet chambers of the mind, in the silent sanctuary of thought. Before the skyscraper touched the sky, it existed as an image in someone's imagination. Before the first car rolled on the road, it was a picture in the mind of a dreamer. Wealth does not start in the vaults of banks. It starts in the invisible realm of consciousness. In the real world of consciousness, the truth is simple, yet often ignored. If you cannot see it in your mind, you will never hold it in your hand. Imagination is not daydreaming. It is the creative power, the workshop where reality is shaped. The world around you, every building, every invention, every luxury, was once only an idea. Someone dared to see what others could not. They closed their eyes to the limitations of the present and opened them to the possibilities of the unseen. That is the law. Nothing appears on the outside until it is first accepted and lived within. Most people believe that wealth is a matter of luck, hard work, or chance. They run after opportunities without realizing that everything begins inside. The richest soil for abundance is your own mind. When you imagine wealth vividly and consistently, when you give it life through feeling, you plant a seed that must grow. Imagination is not a weak escape from reality. It is the very force that creates reality. What you see with the inner eye becomes what you experience with the outer senses. Think of this. When you imagine yourself wealthy, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning with a higher truth, a truth that the physical world has not yet caught up with. The physical world is slow. It takes time to mirror what is alive in consciousness, but it must mirror it, because the outer is only a reflection of the inner. If your mind is full of lack, struggle, and limitation, no amount of effort can override that deep belief. But when you fill your imagination with abundance and live as if it were already yours, circumstances, people, and opportunities begin to move in your favor. Imagination is the doorway to wealth because it allows you to enter the state of the wish fulfilled, and the state you occupy determines the life you experience. If you occupy the state of lack, you will live in lack. If you occupy the state of abundance, wealth will find its way to you in ways you cannot predict. The world will rearrange itself to match your conviction. This is not magic, it is law. What you assume to be true within must express itself without. So ask yourself, what pictures dominate your mind? Do you see yourself counting bills, and worrying about payments? Or do you see yourself living in freedom, giving generously, and enjoying the fruits of wealth? The mind cannot hold two masters. If you allow fear to rule, it will manifest. If you allow faith and imagination to rule, abundance will manifest. It is that simple, yet so few live by this truth. Stop waiting for money to show up before you believe. Believe first, and it must show up. Close your eyes tonight, and dare to imagine the life you desire as if it were already here. Feel it, so real that you forget for a moment where you are. Let that scene play in your mind until it feels natural. That is the key, that is the door. And when you walk through it in imagination, the physical world will open the same door for you. Everything you desire, every fortune, every success, begins here, in the unseen world of thought. Use this power wisely, for it is the greatest treasure you already possess. If you can see it, you can have it. If you cannot see it, you never will. Wealth begins in imagination, and imagination is the door. Walk through it boldly, for millions are waiting on the other side. You have been told to wait for your turn, to wait for opportunity, to wait for the right time. But the truth is this: you are not waiting for millions, they are waiting for you. Wealth is not hiding somewhere outside beyond your reach, waiting for chance to bring it to you. It flows from within you. It begins the moment you shift your awareness from lack to abundance, from wanting to having, from hoping to knowing. The instant you accept wealth as your reality, not as a wish, but as a fact, it begins to move toward you in ways you cannot predict. Look around you. Every person who has ever achieved great wealth did not begin with the evidence of riches. They began with an inner certainty, a decision that what they desired was already theirs. They did not beg for opportunities. They believed they already belonged to a life of plenty, and everything around them rearranged to match that belief. This is the key most people miss. They live as beggars in their minds, while striving to be kings in the world. But the world is a mirror, and a mirror only reflects what stands before it. If you want the reflection to change, you must first change the image you hold within. Millions are not coming from some mysterious source in the future. They exist now, waiting for you to claim them by assuming the state of wealth. You may say, "But I do not see them." Of course you do not see them with your physical eyes, for those eyes are blind to the invisible. But the unseen is the source of the seen. Everything that now exists, every building, every invention, every fortune, was first invisible. Someone had to claim it inwardly before they could hold it outwardly. So it is with you. The moment you feel yourself to be wealthy, opportunities arise, doors open, and people appear, because the outer world must align with your inner state. Stop asking when your time will come. It is not in the future. It is now. The delay is never in reality. It is in your awareness. You keep wealth at a distance when you think of it as something separate, something you must run after. The harder you chase it, the further it runs. But when you accept it as already yours, it comes without effort. Why? Because you have entered the state where it already exists. States are everything. You cannot live in the state of lack and expect to experience abundance. You cannot see yourself as poor and expect wealth to flow. Change the state, and the circumstances will follow. This is not about greed, it is about alignment. The desire for abundance is not wrong. It is natural. It is life seeking fuller expression through you. When you feel that longing, do not push it away. Embrace it as a sign that the life you desire already exists in potential, waiting for you to step into it. When you do, you stop waiting for millions, and millions begin waiting on you. They line up, drawn by the magnet of your conviction. The job, the deal, the idea, the connection, all these are merely channels for what you have already accepted inwardly. So tonight, stop thinking of yourself as someone hoping for money. Begin thinking and feeling as one who already lives in abundance. Ask yourself, how would I walk, talk, and carry myself if I were wealthy now? And then do it. Act it out in your imagination until it feels natural. That feeling is the signal that the shift has happened. From that moment on, Everything moves, everything flows, for you are not waiting for millions. They have been waiting for you to awaken to who you truly are, the source of all that you seek. The secret is not in endless effort, but in the quiet art of assumption. Life responds not to what you plead for, but to what you accept as true. If you desire wealth, you must go beyond hoping for it. You must live as though it were already your reality. This is not about pretending to others, it is about convincing yourself. When you walk, think, and feel like the one who already possesses abundance, you step into the state where wealth must come to you. Most people believe they must work harder, hustle longer, and sacrifice more to achieve success. They exhaust themselves trying to change the outer world while ignoring the truth. The outer world is only a shadow of the inner state. Effort alone cannot compensate for an inner conviction of lack. If, deep within, you see yourself as struggling, as poor, as one who is trying to make it, then every action you take will echo that belief. But when you assume the feeling of wealth, when you live as though it were true, everything changes without strain. The law is simple. What you accept inwardly will harden into fact outwardly. To live as though it were true is not fantasy. It is faith in action. It is daring to believe in the unseen so fully that your behavior reflects it. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I were already wealthy? How would I walk into a room? How would I speak to others? How would I hold myself when paying bills, making plans, or meeting people? Then begin to embody those answers, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. Let the feeling of abundance become so natural that the current circumstances lose their grip on your mind. When you live in assumption, something extraordinary happens. Life rearranges itself to match your inner state. Opportunities arise that you could never plan. Ideas come to you effortlessly. People appear who open doors you didn't know existed. This is not luck, it is law. You cannot consistently live in the feeling of wealth and remain in poverty, just as you cannot live in the feeling of sickness and enjoy perfect health. Every state produces after its kind. You are the cause. The world is the effect. The challenge for most is persistence. They try this for a moment, then look around and say, nothing has changed. They return to old thinking, canceling out their assumption. But living as though it were true is not a one-time act. It is a continuous choice. You keep the feeling alive regardless of appearances. You hold the inner picture steady when everything outside seems to deny it. That is the test, and the reward is certain. For the world cannot resist a mind that has already decided what is true. Living in assumption does not mean spending recklessly or ignoring reality. It means you refuse to identify with lack, no matter how real it seems. You may have a small bank account today, but you do not think of yourself as broke. You think of yourself as abundant. And that thought shapes your actions. You invest in yourself. You carry yourself with confidence. You treat every experience as if you already belong to the life you desire. This alignment creates a magnetic pull that draws resources, people, and opportunities to you. So stop waiting for permission from circumstances. Stop asking for signs before you believe. Assume the feeling now. Walk as though the promise is fulfilled. Speak as though the door is already open. Feel as though the answer has already come. That is the secret the world ignores, yet it is the key to all manifestation. For life does not give you what you work for, it gives you what you are. Become it in feeling, and soon you will become it in fact. The world you see around you is not fixed, solid, or independent. It is a mirror, reflecting the convictions you hold within. Every condition, every circumstance, every so-called obstacle is nothing more than a shadow cast by your inner state. Most people believe the opposite. They think the outer world shapes their inner experience. They say, when I have more money, I will feel abundant. When the right opportunity comes, I will feel successful. When circumstances improve, I will feel at peace. But life does not work that way. It moves from within, outward. Change the inner conviction, and the shadow must follow. Consider this truth deeply. The outer world bows to the inner state. If your dominant feeling is lack, then no amount of external effort can free you from it. Even if you gain more money for a moment, the conviction of poverty will find a way to express itself again, through loss, debt, or disappointment. But if your inner state is abundance, then no temporary setback can destroy you, for your world will always find its way back to match the truth you carry inside. Look at nature. The shadow on the ground moves when the object moves. The shadow does not decide where to fall, it simply reflects the position of the object. So it is with your life. The circumstances you call real have no power of their own. They are shadows. They cannot remain as they are when you shift your inner position. Most people make the mistake of fighting the shadow. They work harder, they struggle, they try to rearrange the outside without changing what casts. They do not realize that the true work is invisible. It happens in consciousness. If you want wealth, stop trying to fix your financial condition from the outside. Stop complaining about what is missing. Stop fearing the bills. Stop staring at the evidence of lack. All that is the shadow. Instead, turn inward and assume the feeling of abundance now. Live in that state so fully that it becomes more real to you than what your senses report. That is the secret. When you accept abundance inwardly, the outer world must reorganize to reflect that new conviction. People, ideas, and events will appear, and it will seem like coincidence, but it is law. The shadow is simply moving because you have moved. The same is true for every area of life: love, health, success. If you believe yourself unworthy, unloved, or powerless, the world will echo that belief in 1,000 ways. But the moment you change the conviction, the echo changes. This is why some people seem lucky, why things seem to work out for them effortlessly. It is not luck, it is alignment. They carry an inner assurance that life is good, that they deserve blessings, and so life bows to that expectation. So stop wrestling with the world. Stop blaming the economy, your past, or your circumstances. These things have no life of their own. They only reflect what you hold as true. Begin today to assume a higher state. Feel yourself successful. Feel yourself favored. Feel yourself abundant. Let that feeling dominate, and the outer world will have no choice but to conform. Do not ask how. The how belongs to the shadow, not to you. Your part is simple. Occupy the state of the wish fulfilled and remain there until it feels natural. Once it does, the outer world must bow. It always has. It always will. The shadow cannot resist the object that casts it, and the object is you, your consciousness, your conviction, your inner state. Change that, and you change everything. The desire that burns within you is not an accident. It is not a fleeting thought nor a cruel joke played by life. It is an invitation, a divine whisper calling you to a reality that already exists for you. You would not desire something unless it were possible for you to have it. You would not feel the pull toward abundance unless abundance were already prepared for you. Desire is the evidence of unseen reality, is the bridge between what is and what is to come. So many people treat their desires as fantasies, as dreams too big for them. They think, why would I deserve this? Why should life give me such wealth, such success, such joy? But the truth is, you would not even think of it if it did not belong to you in some dimension of being. You cannot truly long for something that does not exist. The fact that you feel the desire is proof that the thing desired is waiting for you, calling you, urging you to rise into its state. Desire is not something to fight, fear, or suppress. It is not greed, nor is it weakness. It is life seeking expression through you. When you desire abundance, it is life saying, expand, grow, step into more. But most people misinterpret this call. They think desire means lack. They think, I want it because I don't have it. So they live in frustration, always wanting but never having. They do not see that desire is not about wanting, it is about accepting. The moment you accept that what you desire is already yours in consciousness, it begins to move toward you. Everything begins in the unseen. When you feel desire, do not look outward for signs. Do not ask how it will come. Instead, turn inward. See yourself already in possession of what you seek. Feel the reality of it so completely that you no longer feel the need to chase it. That feeling of fulfillment, That quiet inner knowing is the magnet that draws it into form. The world cannot resist the pull of a mind that has already accepted its desire as fulfilled. Do you want to know why so many people live and die without realizing their dreams? It is because they treat desire as something separate from them. They hope, they wait, they plead, but they never assume. They never say, "This is mine now." They keep their desire on a pedestal, always out of reach, always in the future. But the future never comes, because life only knows the present moment. You must bring the desire into the now by feeling it fulfilled today. When you close your eyes and imagine holding the money you desire, living in the home you dream of, or enjoying the freedom you long for, you are not playing games. You are performing the most sacred act of creation. You are saying yes to the invitation. You are stepping into the reality that already exists. And when you stay there, when you let that feeling dominate, everything begins to change. Ideas come, opportunities appear, people cross your path. The so-called impossible starts unfolding naturally. Never despise your desires. They are not there to torment you. They are there to lead you to your highest potential. They are divine signals, proof that life is bigger than your current experience. So the next time you feel that longing for more, do not run from it. Do not call it unrealistic. Smile and say, "Thank you," because that desire is not random. It is your invitation to abundance, a promise that what you seek is already yours. Accept it, and it must manifest. For life never gives you a desire without also giving you the power to fulfill it. The world tells you to work harder, hustle longer, and never stop grinding. It praises effort as the ultimate key to success. But if effort alone could make you wealthy, then every laborer would be rich, and every person working 2 or 3 jobs would live in abundance. Yet this is not the case. Why? Because action without alignment is like rowing a boat against the current. It exhausts you, but gets you nowhere. Millions do not come through effort alone. They come through awareness. A mind aligned with wealth can make the smallest action produce results beyond reason. This truth may sound strange to those who worship hard work, but look at the world around you. There are people who work endlessly and never rise above survival. Then there are those who seem to act very little, yet wealth flows to them effortlessly. Is it because they are lucky? No, it is because their inner state is wealth conscious. They act from a place of knowing that abundance is theirs, and so every step they take multiplies. Their smallest move carries power because it is backed by conviction. Awareness is everything. Your inner state determines the value of your action. When you act from fear, lack, and desperation, your energy scatters. You work hard, but the results are small because the seed you plant is a seed of struggle. But when you act from confidence, faith, and the feeling of abundance, even a small step opens great doors. The energy behind the action determines its outcome, not the action itself. Consider this. If you believe wealth is difficult, if you see yourself as one who must fight for every dollar, then no matter how hard you work, life will mirror that belief. But if you accept that abundance is natural, that money flows easily and freely, then your actions carry that truth. You may make a single phone call, have one conversation, or take one inspired step, and it leads to opportunities beyond what effort alone could achieve. This is the power of alignment. Do not misunderstand. Action is still required. You cannot sit in a room doing nothing and expect millions to fall from the sky. But your action must flow from awareness, not from anxiety. When your mind is in harmony with wealth, you are led to the right ideas, the right people, the right timing. You act, but it feels light. There is no struggle, no forcing, because the work is not to create wealth, it is to express the wealth you already feel inside. The secret is this: do not start with action, start with assumption. Assume the feeling of being wealthy now. Live in that state until it becomes natural. Then when an opportunity comes, you will recognize it. You will act on it without hesitation, because it will feel like the next logical step. And when you act from that state, your smallest effort will produce results that others cannot explain. They will call it luck, but you will know it is law. So stop believing that your fortune depends on toil alone. Stop exhausting yourself trying to make things happen. Align your mind with abundance first. Feel the reality of your desire before you lift a finger. When you do, your work becomes effortless and effective. The world responds to your awareness, not your struggle. A mind rich in consciousness makes even ordinary actions extraordinary. Millions come not through endless labor, but through a state of knowing that you already possess what you seek. Live in that knowing, and the whole universe will conspire to multiply your smallest step into a river of wealth. Everything you desire, every fortune, every dream, is not out there waiting for luck to bring it to you. It begins and ends within you. Imagination is your doorway, assumption is your power. The outer world is only a reflection of your inner state, and every desire you hold is an invitation to a reality that already exists. Millions do not come through struggle and strain. They come through awareness, through living now in the feeling of what you want, as though it were already true. Stop waiting, stop hoping. Enter the state of wealth today. See it, feel it, live it inwardly until it becomes so natural that the outer world has no choice but to bow to your conviction. The life you want is not coming, it is here, waiting for you to claim it. And when you do, when you accept this truth fully, nothing and no one can stop the abundance that flows to you. You are not waiting for millions, they have been waiting for you. Say thank you for listening. If this message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs this reminder. Stay focused, stay faithful, and remember, what you believe inwardly you will experience outwardly. Your wealth begins within.